Good morning, everybody. My name is Joel. Welcome to my property, my home. I'm going to be doing some videos for you today, trying to showcase just some of the small things you can do if you enjoy getting outside, being a little self-sufficient. As you can tell, the ice in our little pond here. It's been nice and chilly at night, which is great for sleeping for me. I love to sleep in the cold. But like most people, when the sun starts to come out and the fog starts to rise and the temperatures start to go up a little bit, sometimes you just need a hot beverage. So let's go ahead. We'll get started making our first fire of the day, and then we'll make ourselves some delicious tea. So stick with us. Let's get started. All right, so the tea I want to make today is we're going to use the ends. You can use the whole thing, but most people know that fir trees, cedars, even pine, you can make needle tea. It's actually quite delicious. It's got a lot of vitamin C. It's got a lot of good things in it. Typically, I'd try to harvest these coming into the new year in the spring when they're growing, but they actually work fine. You can even do them in the winter time. So we're going to go ahead and take a bunch of these off. I'll use my knife to separate them, and then put them in the old percolator, because as everybody knows, percolated coffee over the campfire is the very best in the whole world. Okay, we're going to work on using a ferro rod to start a fire real quick. We move locations because it is a bit windy near the pond, and you got to work with nature, not try to fight it, especially if it's a cold, wet environment. Now, I do live in a wet environment. If I dug down a couple of inches, you might see a lot of water. Most places, if you dig down 6 inches to a foot, water starts trickling in because my land is built on a bog. So you have to try to find rocks and other things to try to create a moisture barrier, basically. So what we're going to have here is we obviously have some very dry tinder. This will be like a bird's nest. I've got shavings and more over here that I can bring into it, and my pile I've already collected dry items. Plenty of fuel around me to get it going, and of course it's a rather level area, so I can set my kettle on it when it's ready. So I'm going to reset the phone and we're going to get started. Okay, everybody, so I carry and use the rack nib knife. They actually work great. I got no problems with them. I know some people have opinions on that, but it works well for me. I'm using a pretty basic ferro rod. Now, one thing to remember is they come coated in paint normally to keep it as pristine as possible until you use it. Also helps with like oxidation and whatnot. So a lot of times when you buy these, if you notice right away, there's like a black flake that's coming off. That's just the paint that seals it in. You have to get through that to get to the actual stuff that you need. So the first part is to get enough shavings in that when you ignite it, they'll go and you have an ember that you can work with to start your fire. See how easy it is to do that? Now this is pretty dry, so I'm not going to have to use too many. And with a little bit of luck, we will get this started relatively quickly. Now, I adjust my bird's nest quite a bit, honestly, to make sure that I'm getting everything in there that I need. If I need a little more dry material, I'll grab it from my pile. I try to go minimal when I do this. I know some people use a lot of material, but I try not to because I don't want to end up in a situation where I've used all my material at one spot. Especially if you're in a wet place and you know you're limited on what is there for you.
This material is still pretty damp, so let's see what else. Let's see what I can work with here. Like I said, damp environment, a lot easier when it's dry. You saw that spark, that was the core that I set up. So now, since I know this is a little damper than I like, I gotta work on getting a nice core in here that'll start to burn. And that for me is just slow chipping away at it. Oh, and of course it timed out on me, but here we go. So it's already started. So now I'm going to start trying to layer some other items into this that I know are dry and will burn well. Apologize for the delay here, but my phone's a little bit not used to doing stuff like this. Pull this away, it's over there. Okay. You hear that crunch? This stuff is definitely dry. Should be. And the idea is you always start small with your tinder before you go big. It has to get hot and get that bed of coals that will work for what you're trying to do. So when you're prepping for your fires, when you're prepping to do these things, you always want to make sure you've actually gotten enough fuel. Okay? And that means you got to have enough tinder and small stuff, enough smaller items to get the fire going as you move into the bigger pieces. The fires aren't necessary, by the way, for survival. Some places you probably don't want to have a fire, or you can't make them, so you have to learn to do calorie management. That's finding other ways to work smarter, not harder, to save what calories you have, to try to stay dry to the best of your abilities too. It's not easy, and that's why survival is about balance and trade. You're always trying to trade off what you're doing for the most benefit. And sometimes you realize after doing something that it really wasn't what I should have done that time. But it takes experience, it takes time. That's what you want. A little bit of oxygen to get everything going the way it wants. And if you know which way that the wind blows in your area, and of course that'll change during the day a bit, you can use it to your advantage. Sometimes if you have a bird's nest that you're working with that you're trying to get the ember to go, you don't have to blow into it. You can wave it back and forth and let the wind naturally go into it and do what it needs to do. There you go. Great. Some other pieces in here. And it was great when that went off. It went actually easier than I thought. Once the shavings from the ferro rod that I put there in the center caught, it went very quick. I apologize, my camera must have timed out or something. But, you know, pretty simple process. That is nice and warm, putting off lots of heat, and that is what we want. Okay, so there's our fire going. I'm going to add some more fuel to it, but here's my percolator. And of course we have right here, going to make that pine tea. So I'm going to get that bed going nice and good and set it in there. And this is fresh water from the stream nearby that was crystal clear and running. Outstanding way to start the day. Okay, so we've got quite a bit going on already. Let's see if I can get the angle right here, sorry. There's our fire and there's our beverage for the morning. Okay, so there'll be a couple of things I'm going to work on for you. But one thing I am excited about to show you, which I couldn't really get a good angle of me climbing the tree. Chaga. It was up a bit. But this, mwah, is some beautiful stuff right here. Very, very hard. So I'm actually going to chunk a piece off with the knife, throw it in there for the tea, and get my antioxidants for the day. This right here is good for you. It's also so hard I could probably hurt an animal with it if I wanted to. It'll come apart, of course, but hard as a rock. Anyone that uses stuff knows what I'm talking about. So beautiful, beautiful color. Love that. Now here's the cool thing. If that wasn't impressive enough, I can feel the heat off of this. See that smoke? Just for giggles, I decided to chip away at it. I wanted to see how fast this spread. You see what I see? Do you see? You can start a fire with this right now. Right now. Before, just for fun, we've actually taken a ferro rod and managed to get a spark in it. Carried it around when it was wet out. Blow into it. Awesome. It's so cool. I'm going to chip at it and put it some water to put it out because I do like my chaga. A little smoky's best too. All right. Took a little break because this is ready. And nothing will start your day like some hydration. Tastes like the outdoors. Oh, that smells awesome. Oh, yeah. It's like Christmas. Now, holiday spices. How about that? Oh, could drink that all day long. You just feel it rejuvenating you. Especially if you've been out for a while. You might be a little dehydrated or hungry. It's good stuff.